Hey, what's up, everybody? This is another episode of the Sitdown. I'm Mike Recine. This is Matt Anderson. He's fucking high, and he can't do his job.
No, I was putting my phone on. Do not disturb. I would have gotten a phone call and interrupted this beautiful song.
Shelby would text him from the store going, they don't have what you want. What else should I get? Never mind. I know you're doing a podcast, but who's the boss?
Matt, they don't have the extra large tampons that you need for your pussy.
Dude, she loves me.
Does she ever send you out for tampons?
I've done that. Have you done that, Mike?
Yeah, I don't care. I'll buy tampons.
You know what's worse than
day.
that? When you're in Washington Heights and your Puerto Rican girlfriend sends you out for tampons and tells you how to ask for them in Spanish.
How do you do it?
I don't remember.
Yeah. Anyway, well, that's the voice of our very the gang's back together. The original crew, the original sit-down crew. The guy who was here at the beginning, Mr. Frank Terranova, is joining us.
Thank you.
You're the guy who, like, we wouldn't have the show if it wasn't for you.
Yeah, I built this show.
You built it. You named it. And then you dipped.
Just like a black dad.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, baby.
That's why the black comics love me. No, they love me. They relate.
That's why the black comics love me, because I go, hey, you guys are prone to violence. And they go, thanks, Frank. You tell it like it is. Anyway. Yeah, so
how's it been? How's the show doing? It's doing good?
I think it's doing good.
Matt does a lot of posts for it, I see. That's all Matt does.
It's definitely a different show since you left.
Is it?
You know?
Yeah.
You get to talk?
Yeah.
Even Matt's talking now. What the
Right.
hell happened? I left. He didn't say a word. I come back. He's fucking yapping.
Right. Well, we gotta fill.
Oh my God.
We gotta fill the air. You know?
That's what happens in my relationships. They start off quiet, and then after 2 years, they start yapping, and then it's over.
Just got to get comfortable, Frank. Like, before, like, we only ran into each other every so often.
Yeah, I see Matt out in the trenches.
Yeah.
We don't see Mike. He's doing better. He's doing good. He's got what do you got?
He's got love in his life.
I'm doing. Yeah.
He's got a dog.
I'm doing Knights of Columbus.
You got a dog. You got a woman. You got an apartment in a black neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How's life been after that? It's funny because people love you. People ask about you all the time.
You know what happened? I was at the Creek on Friday just doing the open mic, and this couple comes over, a young couple, and they were like, Frank, I just wanted to say we love you on the sit down.
Oh, yeah?
And I was like, oh, and they're like, yeah, man, we're sorry that you left. And they were so nice. I was like, what do you guys do? Like, with dances? Or they were like saying it's so brave that I do stand up. They were like saying it's so hard they can't imagine doing it. I was like, I'd rather be a fucking dancer, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I ever told you this. I used to want to be like, my dream when I was a kid was to be like a chorus dancer on Broadway. That's what I wanted to do. Like, after I saw All That Jazz, the Bob Fosse film, I said I would like to do that, but it was just I didn't have the balls to take a class.
And I said, Mom, I want to be a dancer. And she beat the fucking piss out of me.
No, then I saw Staying Alive, the sequel to Saturday Night Fever, with John Travolta's dancing on Broadway. And I was like, it put it all together for me. I was like, oh, he did it. He's from Bay Ridge. Mm-hmm. Maybe I could do it. I'm from Canarsie. Maybe I could be a dancer.
Yeah. That movie took place in Bay Ridge.
Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah. Wouldn't Travolta be such a cooler movie star if he was, like, openly gay? He'd be like this gay, like, masculine.
How do you know? He might not be gay.
No, you're right.
You know, gay rumors, one thing about a gay rumor is everybody believes it. That's it.
Yeah.
Nobody has to have any proof at all.
Well, you wouldn't start a rumor if there wasn't any.
You don't think there would be some kind of proof by now?
I thought there's people. Not that I care.
I want to see a photograph of him with his tongue in a man's. If I see a photograph of him making out with a guy, I'll be like, wow. Until then, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe.
I don't think there's a photograph of me making out with a girl.
No,
Yes,
there never will be. You fucking queer.
Hey,
yeah.
Watch the course.
Just kidding.
If he was gay, I think he would be open. He wouldn't be married this long. He wouldn't have kids and married for 30 years to the same woman. He was in long-term relationships with a lot of women. Diane, the one that.
What about Tom? So was Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise is straight also.
Oh, okay.
You know who's gay?
Huh.
Liberace.
Right.
Good call.
The only gay man ever in show business.
No, he's not the only one. There's a few.
Yeah.
But the way people talk is like everybody's gay except for Bruce Willis. I don't know. He's the only person. He's the only person who hasn't been accused of being gay so far.
Right. Well, this thing that we do is like kind of gay.
Yeah.
What, show business?
Entertaining people, talking on a stage,
talking
sharing
into
your
a mic.
feelings.
But you know,
that's
denying who you are goes an extra mile. Like if you are actually a homosexual and you're denying it, that's a whole thing you're doing. That takes a lot of work.
Mhm.
I don't understand that, doing that much work to keep it quiet. This ain't the 40s.
How's life after the show been? I mean,
Oh,
like,
I've been inundated. You know, I had to turn a lot of stuff down.
yeah.
I didn't. What are you gonna? No, I've been all right.
Yeah.
I did another podcast that didn't work out, so now I don't know. I'm just taking a break from podcasting.
You did your own?
No, I did one with at the Creek with Tyler Richardson and Margot Reese. It's a good podcast. It's called Gumbo,
Okay.
and it's still going. And Conrad Roth took my place, and
Yeah.
it's a good podcast. But
Margot Reese is a trans comic that we know.
Yeah.
And somebody brought her up the other night. They were like, Margot Reese. I was like, who's Margot Reese? I've heard that name before. And they go, Mark.
yeah.
It's funny that, you got to accept but you can, that's okay, right? To bring up their old identity.
Yeah,
If you're
I
trying
I
to.
guess so.
Yeah.
You would have to ask her about it. I know her for a long time, and
That's good. And you're using the pronoun.
yeah, well, that's what If this was a couple months ago, I would have said him.
Yeah.
But now we say it different. No, I mean it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
No, she's a good friend of mine, and I have
me too.
I have acquaintances that are trans, but I think she's the first one that I would consider a close friend.
Mhm.
So I support her. She came over to me.
I'll tell you what.
way before she made the announcement
Yeah.
and asked me what I thought.
Yeah.
And I was like flattered that she would even ask me.
Yeah. Has she mellowed out a little bit?
What do you-
Because when Margot was Mark, she was a fucking asshole. She was real
I never
bitter, real angry person.
I never saw that.
No?
I don't know.
She was like this tall, sort of like
Maybe it's because I'm miserable, so we just bonded.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. She was mean.
I don't remember her being mean. But I get along with people that nobody else gets along with. That's true. I get along with people that not every person is meant to get along with each other.
Right.
There are some people that people are like, oh, I love this person. I'm like, that fucking twat.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't like somebody, I don't like somebody.
There's also groups that don't really get along.
Yeah.
Whole groups of
Where are you
people.
going with this?
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certain groups don't get along with other groups.
Yeah.
Yeah. People also ask me, like, they're like, oh, why did Frank quit the show? And I think we just kind of had different visions of what we wanted the thing to be. And,
I'll be honest. I'll put this all on me. I have a lot of like commitment problems when it comes to projects and shit. I always fucking bail.
Yeah.
I should probably work on that. But I don't know. I just like how you ever see the documentary by Joan Rivers called A Piece of Work?
No.
It's really good. It's a really good documentary. And she said she had a calendar out, and she had like one part of the calendar that had no X's through it, and she hated when she had no X's on her calendar. She was like, "This is. I have to fill this up. I have to fill this up." She was obsessed. I'm like the opposite. Like if I have a lot of X's, I'm like I feel like I get anxiety.
Yeah.
And then I'll drop out of like 10 shows, and I feel better.
Yeah.
I don't know why. What do you think that is?
It's a lot to get out and put yourself out there. Show business is very hard, everybody.
It is. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a tough life. But anyway, I really do think you should, because you always complain about where you are in the business. You should have your own show or something. You should do a podcast or a video series or something like that.
I wrote a screenplay, a feature-length screenplay, and I want to direct it.
Wait, was this La Cucarachas?
No. This is did I ever tell you about my film?
No.
About the guy who goes to his 30th high school reunion and meets a girl.
Oh yeah, I know about this one.
I told you about it.
Yeah.
It takes place in one night in Brooklyn in June, and could be made for.
Frank sits down at the table. He's like, "All right, here's my idea for a movie. So there's this 50-year-old man, and they're like, bye, see you later."
I'm not trying to get it produced. I'm going to make it myself.
Okay.
It's like a middle-aged.
I like the way you pitched it to me, though. You like described the woman and how she looks.
That's important.
Yeah, I know. She's like a Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican, 48
big
years old.
titties.
I didn't say big titties. I just said she's above average looking.
Okay.
I
thought you said big titties.
I didn't say anything about cup size.
Okay.
What are they going to pad a casting?
No, I just thought that would be such a
D
funny.
cups and up.
Yeah. Here's the sad thing about this business, though. I did a show at Caroline's last night, and it was a new talent show. So it was like I just opened up the show, and it's just different people at different stages of their lives doing stand-up. And there was a lady there. She was like 64. She went on, and she had a very funny perspective. And I really feel like you get funnier the older you get. And also, like, listening to a 23-year-old talk,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? But it's a shame how, like, the industry just wants nothing to do with older people.
Yeah, I mean, every once in a while they'll give an old person a shot. You know, people. Yeah, there's been a couple of
Like
older
Creed
guys
from The Office, or like
Oh,
something
he's
like,
great.
You know,
Well, he was a
guy's
drummer for the Grassroots.
yeah.
He also knew how to play guitar.
Well, Lewis Black started in his 40s, and Robin Harris started late, and there's been a couple. Eddie Pepitone is started older.
Yeah.
You got to be really good though.
I mean, old people are gross. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I touched Frank's shoulder the other night, and it felt like my grandfather's. He's got real brittle bones.
Wow.
But yeah. Anyway,
Brittle bones. It's because I don't have a lot of fat.
right.
I don't. I probably have like less fat than Doc Rivers when he played for the Knicks. Remember when Doc Rivers played for the Knicks?
I know. When was that?
1993.
Yeah, it would have been like 8.
Well, you can watch it on TV. You could Google Doc Rivers body fat.
Okay. Update your reference.
I'm like Brad Pitt in Snatch. Remember Brad Pitt in Snatch?
Yeah,
That's
I
me.
remember that.
That's my goal.
All right. So anyway, what we were thinking for this show was like we've done a few episodes on different mobsters and stuff like that, and we were thinking maybe we could like do a little recap with you. We'll ask you about who we talked about and see if you knew anything because it's funny. You really do bring a perspective to the show that's like you don't get anywhere else. Like we watch these documentaries and we read about this stuff, but you understand these guys on like a personal psychological.
Well, I'm just like them, except I don't make a living in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we have the same morals and the same upbringing. You know, it's like.
Right.
If
You
I
got
was
to see it as a kid.
I mean, when I go out on auditions, all they see me for is either a crooked cop or a gangster, and it makes sense because
Yeah.
I mean I bring authenticity to those roles better than fucking
Right.
Leonardo DiCaprio would or Ed Norton or fucking James Franco.
Right.
trying to picture other roles you would
And
get
reading
turned
for
down
the part
for.
of Civil War general. It's Frank Terranova. Hey,
Where's George Washington, that cocksucker? Tell him to get off his horse, take off his fucking wig before I fuck his maid. That
hey,
his
listen,
maid's got a nice
these
ass.
fucking Confederates, they're out of line. We gotta whack them.
He's like Hamilton.
Oh man, Frank as wait, we should make a production. We should stage that.
Yeah.
Hamilton
Frank as
Stein.
Alexander Hamilton.
Do you like
Yeah.
Hamilton?
Alexander Hamilton?
No, the musical.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not familiar.
Okay.
What is it? Disco? Hip hop?
No, it's like
It's hip hop
It's
with,
like
with George Washington?
I don't know. It's like Lin-Manuel rappy bullshit with
Yeah,
you
it's some
know.
liberal wet dream. Get the fuck out of here. Some wealthy cocksucker who steps on minorities for a living goes, you know what? Let's go hook up some Dominican rapper, and then I could say I'm a good guy. Get the fuck out of here.
Hell yeah.
Let some Dominican rapper write a musical. Every liberal is going to throw an award at this fucking guy's head.
Hell yeah.
Fuck.
Why
What's
did
his
you-
name? Juan Miranda?
Yeah, that's close
Go
enough.
play the conga.
It'll come up.
Go what?
Go play the Congo, whatever the fuck. I go see real Broadway plays like Cole Porter. You know what I mean? That's Broadway, not no fucking bring in the noise, bring in the funk. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, like, you know, one thing that you always said was you were like, oh, these guys, you were like, these are really stand-up guys.
Some of them are.
I mean, they all, which seems.
I'll tell
they
you
all
who's,
rat
I'll tell
on
you
each
who's a
other.
stand-up guy. Tommy Patera.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say, I love how people are judgy. Even the guy who ran with him goes, yeah, he was a maniac. Yeah, every day he was talking about killing people. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
well, you're in the mafia, stupid.
Right.
Where do you think you're working? Fucking
Right.
key food?
Right.
You know, like, it was tough being around Tommy every day. He wanted to kill somebody. I'm like, he's a fucking hitman. What's he supposed to do?
Yeah.
You know, he's not making deliveries on a truck.
It does seem like that's the agreement when you go into this. It's
I look at the guys who rat as like scumbags. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to be a rat, go take the cop test and be a rat for a living.
Right.
What are you being then the guy who rats is the guy who really didn't have the heart for it.
Uh-huh.
Those are the guys you shouldn't even let him in. If you could smell that like when Gotti brought in Sammy,
Yeah.
he came from a upper middle class family, Sammy Gravano,
Uh-huh.
and he made an observation. Oh, why would somebody with money want to be in this life? Well, yeah, why didn't you fucking see the red flag, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think Sammy Gravano's a
Gravano
scumbag.
came from money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Gravano was a prick for what he did, but
Yeah.
you know, you should.
Hope you're listening, Sammy. You fucking prick.
Well, he could be. He's just a regular guy now.
Can I ask
Yeah.
you something about ratting? Like, I feel like farther back in time, like the 70s, like ratting back then was like a lot more frowned upon. But like at a certain point in the
It's always-
90s
it's
or whatever, everybody was turning on each other. You know what I mean?
It's
So it's
always-
like you
it's
were
al-
almost like a sucker if you didn't.
didn't
It's
rat.
frowned upon
Yeah.
right now. I think, and not for even gangster shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fucking. You should teach your kids not to be tattletales. My mother taught me that as a little boy.
Right.
She called anybody who told on somebody a old wash woman.
Right, but
Like-
you would hold your morals to not be a sucker. Like like everybody ratted on you. Would you be a sucker, and would you just be in jail?
It just seems like most of these guys rat because they're sort of backed into a corner,
There was
and everyone's ratting on each other anyway.
Yeah,
There
so
was
it's
one
like-
situation that I saw kind of justifiable. Nicky Barnes, who was like a big black gangster in the 70s.
Like you don't think Gotti would have ratted if he wasn't the boss and there was someone higher
Nah,
above
I don't
him?
think he was made that way. There was a couple guys that didn't rat.
Uh-huh.
More than a couple. There's a lot.
That's what I'm saying,
They don't
like-
make stories about the guys that don't rat. They make the stories about the guys that rat. But there's a lot of guys that kept their mouth shut, and I respect the shit out of that.
Yeah. Who were those guys?
Victor Amusio, the boss of the Lucchese crime family, John Gotti. Up until a point, the Chin, right? He just did, at the last minute he made like a baby deal to get his family taken care of.
Yeah.
That might have been okay.
But that's because those guys were the boss. I mean, like if you're a lower level guy,
You know,
you're
they get
expected-
scared.
You're
They-
expected to rat on the boss.
A lot of guys kill rat because they feel like they're gonna get killed anyway. There's
Right.
they're
Right.
sort of
Right.
like, let me just go in.
Yeah.
I don't know what you know what? There needs to be a reform. All the bosses have to get there and go, let's be nicer to our soldiers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, doesn't even go on anymore.
So like a Bernie Sanders
There's no
mob
more
boss.
There's no more gangsters, and they're all in Tampa. I don't know where they are.
Yeah. That's true.
Staten Island and Tampa.
They're still in Staten Island.
Yeah,
I guess,
they're out there.
Yeah. But I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. It's like you go into a crew, you're with these guys, your best friend could kill you, you have to kill somebody, but it's almost like that's like a more simple way to live your life, like gender roles. It's like I do this, my wife does this, Frank might kill me, I might have to kill Matt, and it's just what we do. It's our club.
I think this is
It's a better life.
when you talk about this stuff in 2018, it's kind of like you have to give perspective to the young people listening, because it's like you can't like imagine what these guys are doing in the 70s and doing it now. You can't even imagine the way people related to each other in the 70s. The way you can't even hit on a girl now because with this fucking Time's Up movement. Time's Up. That's what I say every time a female comic is on stage. But that's another story. But it's like you can't. It used to be you saw a girl, you said, "Hey, nice tits." It was like you can't even be a nice guy anymore. You can't even throw a compliment around.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I'm afraid to fucking say hello to somebody.
Times are a changing.
Whatever. God bless them. I hope everybody gets what they want and deservedly.
Yeah.
You can't even walk up to a girl nowadays and say, "I would love to stick my tongue up that."
Everyone.
You don't think things are getting better a little bit?
It's getting better. It is good. I'm only teasing.
Yeah.
But it's just hard. It's hard for me personally in comedy,
Yeah.
and it's always been hard. But this Me Too shit is making it harder. So I'll just wait it out. I'll wait till a black guy gets shot and we can forget about the women again. No, I mean, it's got to be something like that.
This might be a good time to plug the Patreon, folks, because we're never going to have sponsors.
What is
so,
what is the Patreon?
The Patreon is like people can give us a little money to support the show.
Are you asking what the show is on the Patreon?
I don't know what a Patreon is.
Oh, it's just like a paywall
See,
show.
you should have one.
Oh yeah.
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 I'm gonna start.
People can donate every month.
I'm gonna start a Kickstarter.
No, that Patreon is monthly.
No, for my movie to make. For my movie.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Hopefully, I want to make it next year. I only need like 30,000 to shoot it.
What were you gonna shoot it on?
16 millimeter.
What's it about?
It's about a guy who goes to his 30th high school reunion and bumps into a girl there who he liked in high school, but she didn't even know he was alive because she was like out of his league.
Mm-hmm.
And then they leave.
The movie's called Two Old People Fuck.
No, and then they leave,
Uh-huh.
and she hasn't been in Brooklyn in 30 years, so he just takes her everywhere. And she has like a rent a car outside a Mini Cooper, and they go to Coney Island, they go to Bay Ridge, they go.
Yeah, you said it was like that Ethan Hawke movie.
It could be compared to that.
What's it called? What's that Ethan Hawke movie called?
It's Before Sunrise.
Yeah, Before.
But this is like older people, and also it's a lot of movies were like that, walking and talking movies. It's like a subgenre. It's like a Once. You ever see Once?
No.
You saw Once. What do you mean you
Is
never saw Once?
Is it chick flick? Is it a walk and
No,
talk?
it's about the Irish guy who plays the guitar, and he meets the girl on the street, and then they become friends. And,
Once.
Oh, yeah.
they record
I think
the song.
I've heard of that, yeah.
and
I don't
you ever
remember.
see the Barry Jenkins film Medicine for Melancholy?
No.
That's another one. And the Obama film, the one about how he first met his wife.
Mm.
That's a walking and talking film.
Okay.
It's a genre, walking and talking. You never
Okay.
heard that? You never heard of that genre?
No. I mean,
that's
no,
what my
no.
film. And I want to shoot it in black and white.
Okay.
And the soundtrack is all disco.
Folks, it was about Obama when he met his wife when she was a man. She was identifying as a man and she had a penis. And it's a beautiful story about gay love between Obama and his wife.
It's Alex Jones.
Also, I want to shoot it wide.
You see this? You fucking.
I want to shoot
annoying.
it.
You're so annoying.
But I'm thinking about it.
You
now.
don't yes and.
You gotta let Mike.
That's why I don't take improv.
You gotta let Mike be Alex Jones for a second, and
Right.
then you
Mike
go.
is like,
then
we
you go
gotta
back
let
to what
these
you want
bits.
to talk
We gotta
about.
let these bits breathe. You know?
Mike is so glad I'm not on the show anymore.
No, I'm not. Well, yeah, no, I am.
I'm having
But
fun. This
you
is
have
fun.
To, this is fun, but you have to do your own show or a video series or something.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything like a talk show. I want to make.
It's the movie, Mike. It's
I wa-
not a show.
I want to do fiction.
Mhm.
I don't want to be like a talk show host.
But I see Mike's point, though. It's like if you had a show where it was a regular weekly thing, you would actually build up
You could
a
build a
fan
following
base
on YouTube or
to
something.
watch the fucking movie.
yeah, maybe I don't know.
That's the
anyway.
start.
Who knows?
Anyway, so this is what I want to ask you about, though. So, like, you think Tommy Patera is like a model? He's like a model gangster, right? Because he never.
Can I tell you
ratted.
something?
He is the. I think he's the only guy we've done that never ratted on anyone.
Well, I'll tell you something about him, and this might sound nuts because you know what he did. I know people that knew him.
Mm-hmm.
Said he was the nicest guy.
Really?
Yeah, they're like it's funny that you would say that.
Yeah.
But I mean, all he really did, that the heinous thing that he did that most people would think is heinous is the dismemberment.
Mm-hmm.
But what he was doing was really the heinous thing is
Just
actually
covering
taking
his
a life.
tracks.
Taking a life is what's heinous.
Right.
But
Right. Once the thing's dead,
Yeah,
it's not a person.
he
anymore.
was
You
just
can do
trying
whatever
to
do whatever you want with it. You can fuck it. You can pee on it. You can.
he was
Yeah.
just trying to protect himself by
I like his
Just-
respect to craft. You know, karate.
he was so paranoid and careful, and he still got sent away for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
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 He got in trouble recently. I think he beat up a guard or something.
Really?
Some
Of course
assault.
he did.
Roundhouse kicked the guard.
He probably does. He's very disciplined because he's an athlete. He's probably in jail, just doing his stretches every day and his kicks.
Yeah.
I bet you nobody fucks him in there.
How
No, no,
old
no.
is he? In his 60s?
He's like 10 years older than me. He's like early 60s, I say.
There, I got it.
Maybe he's like,
he's
60.
63.
Oh yeah.
So you'd think if someone killed you, you wouldn't mind if they dismembered you?
No, I would hope that they would leave me in the streets so my family could have a funeral.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
But where he's from in his area was Gravesend,
Uh-huh.
and those motherfuckers were tough. Like everybody, we used to drive from Canarsie to Bensonhurst, and there was like a strip, 86th Street, and that's where you went to pick up chicks.
Mhm.
So you ever see the movie American Graffiti, where they're driving around in the '57 Chevys picking up girls and stuff,
Picking up chicks.
like cruising for chicks?
Uh-huh.
Like the strip was 86th
Have
Street.
you never heard the term picking up chicks before?
No, I didn't. I don't know if that means like whores or if that
Oh.
means like
No, but
you know,
86th Street in Bensonhurst was like the strip. And people would come from Staten Island, Jersey. Like it was just all. And to be honest, none of them were really that gorgeous. They were just like these brutal Italian girls with fucking big fucking honkers.
Yeah.
Hair up the hair with fucking. They're gross fucking chicks.
and they're cruising for a husband. Is what you're saying.
exactly.
Okay.
And we would go there, but riding up Avenue U before you made that right turn on 86th Street, those were the toughest kids. Gravesend, right by Spumoni Gardens. You know what Spumoni Gardens is?
Yeah.
That was the toughest fucking neighborhood, man. Those fucking kids, they would just be on the corner with bats like it was the Warriors. On the front, I'm like, why do they have bats? Nobody even said anything yet.
Yeah. It's funny. I mean, it must be hard for you in 2018 to see how everybody. I mean, first of all, most of New York is just transplants anyway.
Yeah,
It's
now.
people. But everyone's. You think people are too nice nowadays?
Yeah, I think everybody is. I think their empathy is making them closed-minded. People like are afraid to have a good time in comedy because they think it's offensive. Just laugh at something that's offensive.
So let me ask you about the Grim Reaper Greg Scarpa from the Colombo family.
That guy was a character, Jesus.
Yeah, and this is a guy who's like. I mean, I feel like Greg Scarpa sort of sums up someone in the mob because he was making all this money for the Colombo family and making money as an informant and ratting on everybody.
But he wasn't really ratting on everybody. He was throwing them fucking, little people.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was just using it to his advantage. I don't know if this is true or not.
So you don't consider him like a rat?
He's not a full rat.
Yeah.
And I don't know
Who's a full rat?
He was Henry Hill.
Yeah.
No, but Joe Pavaci.
Yeah.
But I think he was the boss, he might have been like letting them know, yeah, I'm just fucking with the cops. I'm giving them fucking mutts and I'm fucking protecting us. I think that's what he did.
You think?
Seems like that's what he did.
Uh-huh.
But he was like
Didn't end well for that guy.
It didn't end well for all of them. But except who's that guy who retired?
Costello?
Yeah, he was the only one who had a good life, and Lucky too. Lucky died young, but he died.
The Chin had a pretty good life too.
Yeah. Well, he went to jail, didn't he? At the end.
Yeah. But he was like, it was like right at the end.
But the Burt Young character on The Sopranos, I believe, was based on Scarpa.
Oh, really?
Or maybe loosely, because he was dying. Then he went and did that one hit, and he felt good again. Because Scarpa was doing hits when he knew he was dying, and it was making him feel alive. He loved doing it.
Yeah.
There's certain guys like the guy in Philly. What's that guy's name in Philly?
Scarfa?
I think so. He like got off
Nicky
on doing. He
Scarpa?
didn't like when you're a boss and you
Oh,
don't.
yeah, yeah.
And you don't have to get your hands dirty. Like Gotti became a boss. He never got his hands dirty ever again.
Right.
A lot of these, that guy and Greg Scarpa, like they're bosses, and they miss just getting their hands dirty.
Did they learn sign language when they started like bugging people? Do you know at all?
Yeah, well, they used to cover their mouth when they would walk on the street.
Yeah, but I mean, they still got like directional microphones and stuff like that.
Yeah, as careful as they were, they all got caught. So I don't know.
You just can't do that nowadays with all the technology, right?
It's so hard to be a gangster now.
Yeah.
There's
I consider myself a gangster. Anyway.
no reason. There's no reason to be a gangster. It's not. That's a 20th century job.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess one thing I want to ask you is, like, we spent a lot of time on the show talking about, like, evil, and I feel like, yeah, these guys are really bad, but there's so much evil out there now that people get away with and they can hide behind. Like,
forget
people
it.
in tech. Like, I was looking at those Seamless ads the other day on the subway, and I was like, this is like real evil, because the whole ad campaign is like, here's all the special, this Seamless special instructions, and it's like all these insane things that people. So it's like, it's not enough to come to New York and ruin a neighborhood and not support businesses and get food delivered, but now you can get someone to like you can get some immigrant to like do a backflip at your door or whatever.
I mean,
know?
people
It's
are.
like and Seamless charges like 30%, I think, to small businesses. Like Rebecca
Yeah.
always complains about
Yeah.
because they take all their fucking profits. It's like everyone who made that advertisement and everyone at Seamless should be put in front of a firing squad.
I know a guy who owns a restaurant. He hates Seamless.
Yeah.
Yeah, those ads are so stupid and like they like make me mad. Same with that dating app. It was like DTF.
Yeah.
Yeah, down to friend, and there was all different words for the F word, and it was just like, what the fuck is going on?
Thank you, Matt.
Not much has changed. Matt's still a fucking energy suck.
Oh my god.
You wouldn't believe. Hey, we got into it last night because Shelby was on the show.
Oh yeah.
and I guess like she was on the show for a little bit and then she left and she was like interrupting. And then somebody said on the Facebook page that Shelby derailed the show, and I was like, yeah, all right, good point. And then Matt called me and asked me to apologize to Shelby, so I had to apologize to Shelby.
I mean, he was like, you're being real loud.
These fucking
and yelling
guys
at
on
her.
Reddit, they follow this show so much. They love talking. They're commenting on you and
Yeah.
Matt, and like,
Right.
Matt's getting funnier. They're like critique. They're like critics. Every week they got a new thing to say.
They're like the trades.
But that's the thing is like if this show gets bigger, like they're gonna say so much worse stuff. They're gonna say stuff about you, about your mother, about your sister, about our families. They're gonna like. So anyway, so he asked me to apologize. I'm like, what am I even fucking apologizing for? Did I acknowledge that your girlfriend derailed our show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't mad about that.
Well, this is a house. You got to walk in here.
Yeah, I guess the problem that I have with him is he's got a soft head and he doesn't put any thought into what he's saying or what he's doing.
He's trying to like bully me into like a super champ. He's like trying to train me into like an ultimate fighter.
He's acting like I can't figure out how to plug two wires into a fucking box and upload this show.
So why don't you?
I should
Yeah.
because I'm loyal. Because I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to let him go because he helped me build the show.
Tommy
That's
Patera
a
is
good
interesting.
quality.
The one thing about Tommy Patera, I read the book when it first came out, The Butcher, that
Yeah.
Philip Kahlo wrote about him. He's the same guy who wrote the book about the Iceman.
Yeah.
And there really isn't a lot, because I'm really interested in why when it comes to people.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like they're like, yeah, he was a good kid. He was shy. He learned karate. He went to Japan. Then he came back and he became a gangster. I'm like, wait, what happened?
And that's what the documentary we watched. Yeah, they said
They
the same
don't. That's
thing.
it. They don't. What led to it? Like
Yeah.
I don't. I feel like with other people, there was more of a backstory. I
Yeah.
feel like maybe he didn't talk to him. I don't remember if he talked to him directly
Maybe it's just the abuse.
from getting picked on in the schoolyard.
Yeah. Because they said Tommy Patera, he had a very high pitched voice. He kind of
Yeah.
he got bullied a lot. So maybe when you're bullied that much, I mean, it's almost like a dog when you see a dog from like a Puerto Rican family or something. They just they can't adjust.
Yeah, in a kill shelter.
Yeah, I
gotta
in
return
my
that dog.
neighborhood, in the 70s, like it was still people wanted to be in the mob, and I get the whole. It might be just as simple as he wanted to be somebody.
Yeah.
In a neighborhood full of nobodies.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to go work and make $300 a week.
Yeah.
He's like, I could go over here and make 300 in 2 seconds.
Right.
You know? So
Right.
it might be as simple as that.
Right.
Yeah.
And the mob kind of says something to like, how shitty life is for a lot of people. Because if you're from like some working class neighborhood and you're like, this fucking sucks, and you're like, what are my other options? And if one is, because everyone's looking for something better than what they have, and if one of the options is you're going to join the mob, but your best friend might shoot you in the head, then how shitty was your life before that?
Back in the 70s and early 80s, nobody was thinking about rats or your friends killing you, because that all started happening around the same time. So this is before they knew what was.
When did that start happening?
Like mid to late 80s.
There were wars, though. You knew.
Didn't they have? Yeah, but when they had to kill somebody, they would get your friend to do it, right?
I think now if you join the mob, you still, because we know all the stories. It's like all the people who did cocaine and heroin before Belushi don't even count.
Right.
If you did it after that, now you're fucking stupid.
Then you're done.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But also, comedy suffered ever since they took the cocaine out of it.
Really?
You think?
Who was a good coked up comic besides Bobby Slayton?
Maybe Robin Williams.
All right.
I don't know.
He was more of an improv guy.
Yeah. Pryor? Was Pryor on coke?
Oh yeah, of course.
Cocaine does make you funnier.
I was telling him before, Matt before, I'm funny when I drink.
Yeah.
Like I got on stage the other night with a margarita in my hand. I was like, and I was just fucking, with no material. And I was having the best fucking time. I could have did an hour.
Yeah.
It's so fucking fun.
Yeah, sure is. Who else have we talked about? So we also discussed, I don't know if you know anything about this, but we have done a couple episodes on pedophiles in Hollywood, which I don't think the mob had any pedophiles.
No,
if there was, they would be gone in a second.
Yeah,
there's lower level guys who committed offenses. There was a guy, I don't know, it's portrayed in the movie The Sinatra Club. There's a movie called The Sinatra Club based on the book, and this guy, this like hood fucked like a teenage girl, like a 13-year-old.
Yeah, and
John Gotti's just a soldier at the time. And he's bragging to Gotti about it. He goes, "Get this fucking girl. She loves it. She begs for it." He said, "How old is she?" He's like 13. So Gotti goes, "Oh yeah, yeah." And then he said, "Give her this fucking guy," and they fucking killed the guy because you can't have a guy like that.
No.
Yeah.
And it's funny, in Hollywood, they reach the top levels of. That's why I was thinking the other day, like somebody like Tom Hanks, who's that successful, had to have like watched people fuck kids and just didn't say anything about it.
I don't know if he watched it.
To get that high and to do business with these people,
I think that the Harvey Weinstein thing.
Out of trouble.
The Harvey Weinstein thing is it really exposed a lot of people because forget it. I mean, we know the guy is a fucking jerk off, but you're telling me from Oprah to Meryl Streep, you tell me they all didn't know what was going on, and some of them admit it. Go, yeah, I kind of know. Like Quentin Tarantino, all of them, none of them. They all kept their mouth shut about how women were being fucking sexually harassed and how kids were being fucked. They all kept their mouth shut. They've all been the people who keep their mouth shut are enablers.
Yeah.
So literally, these superstars who were in Miramax films are all enablers.
Right.
All of them. So Harvey Weinstein is a piece of shit.
I guess you do get to a point where like people just have so much power in this industry, and you're dependent on them, and that they know they can get away with it.
I'm not even.
That's why podcasting is the future of entertainment is going to just be 100 million podcasts.
Probably, I think it is already.
Yeah.
But like Harvey Weinstein is what he is. I'm not even mad at him. I'm the enablers. That's who deserves the most shame. That's what I feel.
Right. Well, let's get into another guy. This guy, I think, the more I think about it, I think this guy's one of my favorite gangsters, just because, like, he's a complete sociopath. I really like the way he operates. There's nothing really good or redeeming about him. But if you want to know the mindset of someone in the mob, I think you should study this guy. And this is Anthony Gaspipe Casso.
Yeah, we talked about him when I was on.
We did, briefly, right?
Yeah, he was a big guy where I grew up. Like people just.
Where did you grow up?
Canarsie.
Yeah,
but he lived in Bergen Beach, was one neighborhood over, and his son hung out with a friend.
Bergen Beach, very suburban, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
And it's really convenient for leaving bodies in the car.
Sure.
Oh my God.
It's very quiet.
A lot of parking, yeah.
But
street parking.
His son, who's not involved in anything, was mutual friends with friends of mine. And they were like, you know who that is? No, his father's Gaspipe. And that's all I heard for years. And every time his name, he's the kind of guy, you bring up his name, Gaspipe, people look around. Like you just get like a chill because like people knew he's like the.
Yeah, he's still alive too.
Yeah. What's interesting about him? He turned on
he ratted, though.
He ratted. He gave them.
Now, he was the boss of the Lucchese family, right?
Yeah. Underboss.
Underboss.
Okay.
So he ratted and he still didn't get a deal. That's a fucking lunatic.
That's because he was fighting in prison and
Yeah.
like having food smuggled in and stuff.
Is that
like
what it was?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, they didn't believe him
Which
because
that's what I love about this guy when they're like, he's like, you know what, fuck the government because they didn't uphold their end of the deal. It's like, yeah, you stabbed the guy in prison and you had your favorite cheese fucking smuggled in. Anyway, so I just love his mentality because you listen to him talk and it's like there's no empathy for anybody else.
He's
and,
definitely one of the biggest outlaws, man,
yeah,
that I knew of. And he's what a fucking character, man.
yeah.
Jesus, that's one guy I would not want to even be in the same room as him.
Really?
Oh no, there's certain guys that were really negative in that, and like, well, he's a big guy. I would
Yeah.
never probably be around him anyway.
And him and Gotti kind of hated each other, right?
Well, he was the
gonna-
chin gave him money to have Gotti whacked. He's the one who had the bomb put underneath the car.
Right.
But and the mafia cops worked for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we discussed them too.
But there was like certain guys who were just like, you know, cold-blooded killers, coked up and fucking always negative.
Mm-hmm.
And like when they would come into the bar, I would just get the creeps. And I was like, I'm going home.
Really?
Yeah, I don't even want to be in the room when they're in the room. It's just like
What about them was negative? It was like their energy, their outlook.
I'll be honest with you,
their-
I was afraid. I
Yeah.
was afraid to be around them. I don't know if I'm going to say something fucked up and they're going to kill me.
Yeah.
You know, you could be at a
Because
bar.
it could be anything, right?
Yeah,
could
there's
be-
shootings all the time,
You
right?
could be at a bar drinking at 3:00 in the morning. If you say
And you're
something,
saying Gaspipe was like that? He was one of those guys?
yeah, he was one of those guys, but he was a boss, so it was a different story. But
Right.
there was a couple of cowboy type guys, like just to like
Tommy DeSimone was very much like that, right?
yeah, nobody liked him.
Nobody liked
But
him.
you know when they shoot Spider in Goodfellas,
Yeah.
that was typical of something that might happen.
Yeah.
Like they'll just shoot a civilian like that, or a guy who's hanging out just for a joke, and like, oh, now we got to bury this fucking guy.
Yeah.
That didn't happen a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. Like I didn't like being. I had friends that looked up to the mob. I used to be like, take me home. I was a DJ at the time. I was like, I'm gonna go in my room and make a tape.
Was Gas Pipe's kid also scary?
No, he wasn't involved. I don't think he ever was.
Wow.
Nice kid.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Interesting.
I'm sure he's got a lot of money. I'm sure the father has money in the
Yeah.
pillowcase somewhere. Must be a
In the
couple of.
walls.
You know, all these guys when they get out, they go, "Yeah, I'm broke." I don't think so. I think how do you make millions and then you got to have something.
Right.
Where do you hide your money?
And a lot of times when they bust gangsters and they bust drug dealers, they make deals with them. They go, "Listen, give me some information on yourself. You're gonna get some time, but I won't touch your finances." Because I have a buddy who's a coke dealer. He did 8 years. They didn't take his boat. They didn't take his house.
Really? Where do you keep your boat for 8 years when you're in prison?
He had money to pay to keep it there.
Okay.
Or maybe he put it in his yard. I don't know.
Yeah.
Give
On
it
a
to
couple
somebody.
on a cinder
It just
block.
collected. Yeah. Just
Rent it.
got all waterlogged. And
You go drive in the 5 towns of Staten Island. Oh, I mean 5 towns of Long Island, and you know, like one of the lower income areas. Like I don't know which ones, but there's a lot of working class people, and they got like fucking jet skis on cinder blocks on the lawn. It's so fucking so Puerto Rican.
Yeah. This is so Puerto
One way to describe.
What do you
Maybe
got a
that could be
jet
the-
ski if you can't fucking keep it anywhere?
Maybe that could be the title of the episode. So Puerto Rican.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So you said Gaspipe just had like a negative energy.
He was like they called Greg Scarpa the Grim Reaper, but there was a lot of guys like that. You just felt
Yeah.
like when they were around, you felt like there was a couple of guys that I didn't like and didn't like me, and when they were around, I just got the chills. Just by like there was a lot of guys who killed who looked like they never smiled ever again. They just had a look like if gray. You
Right.
know? They were so fake.
Were there any gangsters who were like more positive? They had like a positive energy.
Yeah, like the big bosses.
Yeah.
Like somebody who was like a big boss. It was just like a nice, quiet like. There was a lot of guys like
Yeah,
that.
Gotti
Yeah.
was like a news hound.
Yeah, I would see this guy. He was a big boss. I used to see him in the Roma Bakery,
Uh-huh.
and he looked like he worked on Wall Street.
Yeah.
And I would say to him, and he said hello to me, and I didn't know who he was. I said, "Who's that old guy?" He just said, "Oh, me." Be like, "You don't know who that is? That's blah blah blah." I'm like, "Oh," I expected him to have a tracksuit on and be cursing, you know, because
Right.
that's what I think a gangster is.
Right.
But the big bosses, they look like Wall Street executives.
Sure.
When do you want to talk about the 7.5? We're probably at like 43 minutes or so.
I didn't get to watch the documentary.
I've been obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I saw it, and then I started watching podcast appearances by them.
Yeah.
By
So
Michael
fun.
Dowd.
The both of them were on Audie's Lang's podcast
Both of
together
them.
at the same time.
Adam Diaz or Kenny?
Kenny.
Kenny was on with him?
Yeah, they were fighting. Oh my god.
What?
They were fucking Michael was screaming.
What year did that come out?
2015.
2015, and what show was it?
The Audie Lang podcast.
Fuck, dude.
It's on YouTube.
Okay.
He was on DePaulo's podcast too.
Both of them?
You know,
Yeah.
DePaulo,
We're talking about Michael Dowd, by the way.
Yeah, Michael Dowd and Kenny
Nick DiPaolo is very conservative in the way that I don't like. Like he's conservative in the way like that he's pro cop and he's just like so like one dimensionally conservative. He was actually being mean to Michael Dowd and saying, "Oh, I stuck up for the cops. You're fucking me up. Now you got like you said, well,
like a tough guy kind of.
He's like an old man that like votes Republican.
Yeah.
I don't like it. That's almost as bad as being a liberal. It's like too far in that direction, too far in this direction.
Yeah, it's almost like there's nothing. There's no great.
I feel like if you're a diehard conservative, if you're a diehard liberal, you're probably like a prick in some way.
Yeah,
you know,
and you want to control other people.
Yeah, and you want to censor, and you think your way is right. You know, I don't think the things that I think are right. I just, I believe what I believe.
Yeah. I didn't get to watch the documentary, but
it's so good.
Yeah,
and I'm not.
You think we should have him on? Try to get him on.
If you could, I don't know if you can. He's a big celebrity,
Yeah, we'd have to, upgrade our studios here.
You might have to pay him. Does he get paid to go in the other ones?
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or he didn't. I'm sure Joe Rogan doesn't pay anybody, but that's the biggest podcast in the world. Yeah. Isn't it amazing that that's the biggest one? I don't know why.
There's also that Dax Shepard armchair expert.
I don't hate the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh my God.
I don't hate the Joe Rogan podcast, but I don't understand why it's number one.
Uh-huh.
It's so long.
He does them daily or something.
It's so long.
Yeah, like 3 times a week. Yeah.
It's 2 hours and change, and it's got a lot of dead airspace.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's not my favorite. I like Michael Rappaport's podcast.
Yeah, you hear that, Joe Rogan? Get your fucking shit together.
I listen to I Am.
You like Michael Rappaport? I saw an article recently. It was like Michael Rappaport is the worst kind of white guy.
Why?
I don't know. I guess he like pretends to be an ally, but he maybe like oversteps his.
I think he respects black culture a lot.
He called the Chapo guys crackers. Yeah.
Also, conservatives said he's the worst white guy because he sticks up for black people. Probably.
You think?
Yeah, he's really. He grew up. His wife's black. He grew up on the Upper East Side, but he played basketball and he had a lot of black friends, and he knows everybody in the entertainment industry and the rappers and stuff, and they like him.
Yeah,
he's a good documentarian. He made a documentary about the Knicks. He made one about Tribe Called Quest.
Okay.
Yeah,
he was good on Chappelle's show too.
He's a good actor.
Yeah. Matt wrote this question down. He wanted to ask you guys: are there any famous gay mobsters?
No.
Yeah.
No, just straight up.
Next question.
There's that story about like the gay boss. They had to kill him.
John D'Amato. They had to kill the boss in Jersey.
If somebody's gay in the mob, they just get rid of him right away.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because it's one of the rules.
Grandmas couldn't take it.
There's a couple of rules. That's one of them. You can't fuck another
just
guy's wife.
Yeah. Is that just because of Italian culture?
You can't fuck the gumad either.
Mm-hmm.
You can't fuck with their money in any way.
Yeah.
And you can't be gay.
What about
as long as you obey that? What?
I feel like black gangsters would accept a gay boss.
Black people are more homophobic than anybody.
Yeah.
What are you kidding?
saying?
I feel like they'd be more accepting though. Like it seems like in the Italian mob, it's just like.
Wait, I better listen to this because Matt knows a lot about black people. What are you saying?
Right.
Whenever I want to,
Matt, a black expert.
On fucking
whenever I
movies
want
and television, but
yeah.
When I want to know what's going on in the inner city, I come to Matt Anderson.
Matt's got his finger on the pulse.
Because we all know there's a big black community in Minnesota where he's from. That's
right. Matt Anderson.
We got a huge Somalian population.
I heard a black guy got shot in Minnesota because they thought he was a bear.
Is that true?
No.
Yeah, it's almost like Matt doesn't really like belong in New York. His head is too soft.
Nobody belongs here.
Yeah.
This is a tough place.
Except for you.
Yeah, baby. I know how to survive.
Anyway. Yeah. I got a soft head too. But I mean, that really bugged me yesterday. He was like, "Can you apologize to my girlfriend?" And then I looked back at what I did. All I did was agree with somebody that she derailed the show, which she did.
Mm-hmm.
But he just doesn't think about anything he says or does.
What? No, come on.
Yeah, Matt,
if there's
can I tell you
anything
something?
you can die on, any hill to die on, it's like it's defending your girlfriend.
But for what reason though? But
I mean, like,
Mike,
sure, she interrupted, but
Mike
like,
lets Deborah wear the pants. The other night, Deborah comes into the creek in the cave with the dog. She goes, "You want to pet the dog?" I go, "Yeah." So she goes, "Open up your hands," and she takes out a spray bottle. I go, "What's that?" She goes, "Hand sanitizer."
Yeah.
I said, "I'm not sanitizing my hands to pet a dog."
it's a puppy. They could get parvo.
It's a puppy. He doesn't have all his shots yet.
That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
They can get parvo and they die the most horrible death ever. So I understand that, especially with the $3,000
I'm surrounded by
dog.
losers.
Frankie and the $3,000 dog.
I just thought that was bizarre.
But Yeah,
He doesn't have. He can't even touch the ground, Frank.
I've had dogs my whole life. I didn't tell people. Let me hand sanitize you before you pet them.
Well,
what are the rules when you get to hold Frankie? Give me the rundown.
then Conrad Roth is being a fucking cunt.
No, he didn't. He goes. I explained what happened.
Yeah.
And Conrad goes, "That's ridiculous." And she goes. So she starts talking, and he goes, "First of all, you're jumping into our conversation."
Oh my God.
Yeah, she was pissed.
So she goes, "Okay, you hate women," and she walks away. So he goes,
She
"Why
did
does-"
not say you hate women.
That's what she said to him.
Really?
She goes, "Oh, he hates women," and she walks away. And he goes, "Why does it have to be that? Why does it have to be that?" She's just interrupting the conversation. That's all.
Yeah.
So she came down the next night. She goes, "Hey, Frank. Hey, asshole." And a lot of women don't like Conrad because he's you know what it is about
Because he
Conrad?
tells it like
He
it
looks
is.
rich too.
No, this is the thing. Conrad does not give a shit about pussy. I'm not saying he doesn't get it because he's a good-looking guy, but he will not be nice to a girl just because they're a girl.
Right.
And I kind of like that.
If I'm
about
a
him.
casting director, he is the villain in every movie that I'm casting. If he needs to be a white villain.
He's a really nice guy, though. I like
Yeah,
him.
totally.
All right.
He's a good comic, too.
He sounds like he was being mean to Deb.
I pissed off somebody else's girlfriend this week because my friend texted me. He was upset. He was fighting with his girlfriend, and I was like, "Here's what you tell that bitch." And I sent him R. Kelly Real Talk. You ever hear that song?
No.
We talk about that a lot. It's just R. Kelly arguing with his girlfriend. But I was like, "Yeah, here's what you tell her." And then she like looked through his phone, and then she made him. It was Sean McCarthy. She made Sean because you need to hear this because you're a fucking cuck. And you're gonna get cucked.
Sean McCarthy, who runs the show at Billy Batz's bar with
Does he?
Sean P. McCarthy, he's
Yeah.
From Seattle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna bleep. I'm gonna bleep his name, and I'm gonna.
No,
bleep
you're not
it.
gonna bleep his name.
Sean
Don't
P.
fucking
McCarthy.
bleep something unless I tell you to bleep it. Anyway, sorry. I don't know why I'm upset with you. He made me apologize to his girlfriend for no reason.
He's
on speakerphone.
He's a nice guy.
No, you did.
Oh,
But yeah, he calls me and puts me on speakerphone and tries to get me to apologize because I said, "Here's what you tell that bitch," because I made a joke out of context. Anyway, y'all women need to no. You know, I'm mad at y'all men who don't fucking keep your foot on your bitch neck. Anyway,
I mean, I feel comfortable defending her like that. I'll take it for that. You know,
you don't even know what you were upset about, and then you fucking apologized to me, and you were like, "Oh, you're right, dude. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I even brought it up. You know, you're right. Let's just forget it. Let's just forget this ever happened because you don't you just like say stuff, like stuff just comes out of your mouth, but there's no thought behind it.
I don't know. I mean, like I was editing it. You'll hear it.
Was I mean?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, fine. Anyway.
What's up, Frank?
It just feels like he's putting his girlfriend's feelings over our show. He's prioritizing her feelings over this empire that we're building together.
Yeah. Matt's gonna be gone soon. He's gonna get married. He's gonna quit show business.
You can feel it.
Well, you talk about it. You don't talk about quitting show business, but you talk about moving and you talk about getting engaged. These are all bad signs.
Yeah.
Moving for a chick, even though you've been with her for years, moving for a chick is kind of like ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
You got to move for both of you.
Right.
So if you're gonna do it because you have a reason too.
Oh, right.
Not just because she's gonna be in a different state.
Thanks, man.
I'm a good relationship advisor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can help people.
So I didn't see the 7-5, but let's talk about Apolito and Caracappa, the mafia cops.
I don't know much about them, but
Okay. Well, they were on Gas Pipe's payroll, and
you know what's fucked up
they
about
would do
that?
hits for it.
The one thing I do know about them, they were pretty much away and clear. They retired to Vegas. They were living off nice.
Yeah.
It's
Writing
nice out.
books.
Vegas is nice.
Writing tell-all books. Yeah.
Vegas. I lived out there. Vegas is nice.
Yeah.
I like the lifestyle. It's quiet.
Mm-hmm.
It's cheap. It's clean.
It's cheap.
Yeah.
It's cheap to live.
I heard it gets boring. There's no culture out
There's a lot of women, single women,
there.
and they're friendly.
Yeah, if you're a bachelor, I bet Vegas is the place to be.
Put it this way: you go
You
to
like pussy.
every day. I wake up, work out, go in the jacuzzi, make something to eat. You know, the place is fucking. Girls are so easy to get.
What were you doing for work?
I wasn't working.
Oh, okay.
I was just hanging out. I was hanging out with a bunch of guys who robbed Radio Shacks. So they would go out at night and break it. And they used to throw a brick through a Radio Shack.
And if it wasn't for those guys, Radio Shack might still be around.
I would go out there and Radio Shack would have a display and it would just be like a window in the like one of those malls.
Yeah.
And like nobody was there. And I was like, how do you get away with it? They go, we robbed the place.
Like a mini mall? Like a strip mall?
No, like a strip mall.
Yeah.
And the guys who were doing it said it takes the cops 45 minutes to get to the scene. So they have at least a half hour to grab all the shit. So they would get like video cameras and TVs and shit, and then they would sell it.
Yeah.
And that's how they were making their money.
Weren't there security cameras?
I don't think so. This is like 1989.
Oh,
I'm sure they had cameras back then. But
And Radio Shack was the best place they could rob.
They robbed multiple Radio Shacks. They would get one. There was like 4 in the town. They robbed all 4.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And they didn't get caught either.
Did you happen to watch that show Barry on HBO?
No.
Are you watching anything right now? Any crime related stuff?
I'm watching
Like that?
Riverdale. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. Oh,
Really?
my God, it's amazing.
Really? The Archie?
Why is that
I
so
like,
funny?
dude. He tacked on crime related.
It is crime related.
It's Archie,
but
right?
there's crime in the show.
Okay.
There's a couple of
Okay.
murders. But the girls on that show, there's one girl, Lily Reinhardt, who plays Betty Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. I swear she's the next Michelle Williams.
She's the blonde.
Yeah. So pretty.
Who's Michelle
Everybody
Williams?
on the show was great.
Who's
Williams?
Michelle Williams?
Michelle Williams from Dawson's Creek. She had the Joker's baby. Didn't she have the Joker's baby?
Oh, yeah. Right.
There's a baby Joker.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It's like Jared Leto's baby.
You know who's on there? Your cousin, the guy who looks like you. Skeet Ulrich. That's who you look like. Doesn't he look like Skeet Ulrich?
Yeah.
He looks like the guy in the 90s film who is like a jerk, but the girls still don't fuck him anyway.
By the way, Deborah told me I was a psychopath because I convinced you that your feelings were wrong.
He looks like Malibu's
About-
Malibu's Most Wanted. What's that guy's name? Jamie something? Jamie, what's that guy's name? Malibu's Most Wanted? You know-
Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah. Jamie Kennedy,
He looked
yeah.
like Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah.
And the guy from Deadwood.
How about this? If you wanted a life in crime today, what would you do? Because obviously it's harder technology and like.
I would, you can make. I would just
Identity
go into.
theft?
I would go into a legitimate field and just be a scumbag.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah. Right.
Like a Scarellia.
Everybody's a crook.
Right.
Ugh.
Well, I think that's about it for the episode.
That's good.
You should watch the 7-5, dude. It's really good.
Okay.
I watched.
I know. I was thinking we could have him on the show, maybe, but
a couple of weeks ago, I had a hernia operation.
Yeah.
And then they gave me Percocets and shit, and I couldn't work for a week, so I just watched 50 episodes of Twin Peaks. Well, season 1, season 2, season 3, and the movie.
the original or the
Yeah, all of them,
oh,
the whole thing. And
Good?
then, yeah, really good. And then when I came out off the Percocet, I started watching Riverdale. So now it's when it's more accessible.
Now you need like
Yeah.
real.
It's kind of like Twin
real
Peaks.
substance.
It's like an easier to understand Twin Peaks.
I'm watching that Wild Wild Country on Netflix. That's
yeah. How
pretty
far are
good.
you?
I'm like 4 episodes in.
Oh, it's so
I
good.
got 2 left.
I watched The End of the Fucking World.
What's that?
It's a BBC series.
That's with the psychopath kid,
Yeah.
British kid.
Yeah.
I can't get into that.
Why not?
It's like too like I saw the trailer and I was just like I can't get behind a protagonist. It's like I like to kill animals. It's the opposite of me. He's like I don't feel anything. I've never cried
It's actually
before.
good. If you watch the whole, it's only 8 episodes.
It's good.
It's really sweet, a sweet love story.
Is it 20-minute episodes or
Yeah, 25 minutes.
okay?
The girl's cute as fuck.
She's like a teen.
Shut up. She's 23. Jessica.
She's playing a teen.
I don't care what she's playing.
She's like 24.
Yeah.
Jessica Barden. She's been in a few things.
Whatever.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Well, guys, I think we learned a lot today. We learned about moral codes. We learned that the mafia kills pedophiles, which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
They do a lot of good things.
Yeah. Where can we see you, Frank?
A Creek in the Cave, open mic at 6 p.m.
What's that other podcast if they want to go back and listen to you?
Gumbo.
Can we give out your, I don't know, maybe your email or your Instagram or something?
Yeah, my Instagram.
Shoot Frank a DM on Instagram. It's real
Yeah.
Frankie T on Instagram. Let him know he's got to do a series or a video.
We're gonna link
pitch
it in
him,
the description.
pitch him ideas or something for like a
I'm gonna
little.
do-
We'll do video content.
I'm gonna direct a film that I wrote an original screenplay for, and I'm playing the main character in the film. So look for that. Look for my. It's called Breaking Night. It should be coming out in a couple of years.
Perfect.
Question: would you do a podcast, Frank?
No,
All right.
I'll be a guest, but I don't want to produce a
You
podcast.
don't want your own show.
I'm not interested in talking to people. I want to do stuff.
Yeah.
I want to create art. I want to make fiction. I don't want to be a host.
Cool.
Yeah. It's a pain in the ass.
I want to do stand up on the side. I want to make films. That's what I want to do.
All right,
Thanks
everybody.
for coming on, dude.
Yeah,
Thank you.
hey, some plugs. This weekend, I'll be at City Steam in Connecticut. If you live up in Hartford, you can come check it out. 1 show Friday, 2 shows Saturday. And then we have our email, sitdownpod@gmail.com, Twitter @sitdownpod, Instagram @sitdownpod. Shoot us an email. We read every single one. We're a little behind on emails, though. Sorry about that. I have to get back to people. And then
Yeah, and thanks for everybody that's been subscribing to the Patreon. That's been going
yeah,
really well.
it's crazy that you guys give us money.
Yeah.
But as long as you keep giving us stuff, we'll keep putting out that premium content. We won't have Shelby back on. I think that'll be the best course of action to not let her anywhere
Can I
near
tell
the
you
show
something?
ever
I
again.
Stop
hate you
having
so
female guests on the show. It
think?
always it's pointless. I
There's-
won't even
yeah.
talk about how
There's
it's
people doing
this should be an
clapping
all
right
male
now.
show. I'm
Uh-huh.
not trying to be a dick, but what are they going to talk about? It's so stupid.
Yeah. Well,
It's
we
a
did it.
mafia show. Leave them out of it.
You think?
Yeah.
All right.
Why they have to get in on everything?
People want to hear
yeah.
Deb.
10. Do they?
No, they don't.
I know a few people do.
Mike doesn't even want to hear.
You are so right.
She's nice. Though. She's very pretty.
Thank you. Patreon.com/sitdownpod if you guys want to kick us a couple
Poor
bucks.
Oliver. Can I say that? Poor Oliver. You
Why?
bring a
He
new
just
dog.
gotta-
You bring a new dog into the house. You know how depressed he must be? How sad is he?
He's actually doing better now. He's got the company.
Really? Because
Yeah.
usually when you bring a dog in, especially when a dog's
That's
been
what
there,
I thought too.
you know, a little dog got a big attitude. He probably goes to bite the dog, right?
He bites him a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oliver's the king. He was there first.
Mike was telling me he's
Yeah.
like trying to go out of his way to be extra nice to Oliver.
Yeah. I'm nicer to Oliver now.
You
'cause
got
I
to be
don't
nice to
wanna
Oliver. I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Same.
Well, he's old. He's got to have teeth removed, you know.
Oh, you got to brush him.
But yeah. But anyway, yeah, you know, if you guys want to give us some money, I mean, I promise we'll never have sponsors for the show. So, but patreon.com/sitdownpod. And then if you want to do a one-time donation, my Venmo is Michael-Recine-2. Thank you so much for your support. Hit us up. Thanks for your time. And we're out. Bye-bye. Bye.
Peace.